Good morning. This is Phillip Parrish, candidate for governor of Minnesota, and I have a message for Amy and Tim today. Plus, it's Fabulous Friday, and it felt like a good day to do a little bit of a campaign review. I'm hoping most Minnesotans are seeing some very important information in the news, on social media, but most of all, news that you go out and find, search for it, discern for yourself what's really going on. My personal message to Amy and Tim is very clear. I've written several articles in the last few days, but a couple of them yesterday and today specifically aimed at Amy and Tim and the gaslighting that they're doing. This type of gaslighting, this type of dishonest narrative, this propaganda that they're participating in and amplifying with the help of some legacy media that is nothing more than a pay-to-play system to amplify false information. So especially Amy and Tim in the last 48 hours accusing the president and accusing others of creating propaganda or misinformation, and then they reference this video that President Trump had some fun with, as if that's harmful and dangerous. I really hope some news agency, I really hope somebody of decency and integrity picks up a couple of my articles from the last few days and really genuinely calls these people out. Amy and Tim, you're stepping into a zone that is so disgusting and blatantly exploitive that the dangerous people, the dangerous information is coming from you, Amy and Tim. The willingness to double down, triple down on a narrative that would have Minnesotans, good, hardworking Minnesotans, believe that you are somehow defending the weak and defending the needy when you've created programs and policies that are self-perpetuating money laundering and fraud schemes. It's really disturbing, and you don't have to take my word for it. Anybody can do the research. It's publicly available information. You don't have to use AI tools. You don't have to use some fancy knowledge base or go to some fancy person with all kinds of credibility in the political world or the news world. You can do the research yourself. You can go get this information yourself. It's easy to discover. All you have to do is put the dots together, and those dots are clearly connected to an undocumented and illegal immigration policy and agenda that has perpetuated and fueled this little bit of a scheme. It's not just a little bit, it's a lot of scheme, where you can exploit the generosity of people in Minnesota and across the nation, exploit their emotions, exploit their fears. You create policies in crisis in key areas, flood communities with that crisis that you perpetuated and created. And then Amy Klobuchar, you're talking about morality. I did a post just a few hours ago about morality. Seriously, Amy? You are talking about morality and invoking Hubert H. Humphrey? This is a disturbing trend amongst the political elite. and happen to be on the Democrat side of this discussion. Yes, there are Republicans guilty of the same, or at a minimum guilty of turning a blind eye. But you create this crisis, you create this flood of crisis. You use tax dollars from people that have real jobs and pay real taxes. Then you flood the system with programs and policies that benefit this pre-organized game that you're playing. You fund the money through select LLCs and NGOs. Then you tax the benefits. Hear me clearly, everyone. You have political elite who knowingly create crisis, infuse communities with a manufactured need because they created the need. They exploit the taxpayers of that community for the payment of benefits to the crisis they created. Then they tax the benefits that were given to the undocumented and illegal and LLCs and NGOs. They tax the money flow, this cash flow, and then try to claim, in Amy's post, try to claim that it's $300 million collected in revenues for Minnesota because of these undocumented and illegal persons in Minnesota. This is a very disturbing reality. The reality on the ground is Democrats and some Republicans created a scheme, a profiteering, racketeering, Ponzi scheme to an extent, where they exploit the emotions of good, decent people, flood the community with undocumented and illegal persons, tax the benefits given to those people, most of which never reach the real people in need, and then try to claim that they've increased revenues, a tax-based revenue in Minnesota, all while completely hiding and ignoring how they've decimated the benefits of deserving Minnesotans across Minnesota who are truly in need. We're talking about, and I'm picking on Amy and Tim specifically because they have the power to expose the full truth. And so you have to ask yourself, are Amy and Tim really that incompetent and lacking of integrity and lacking of dignity, or are they willing participants in a criminal enterprise that has started a cycle of exploiting hardworking people, real jobs, real tax-paying people, funneling money to LLCs and NGOs, most of which doesn't reach the real people in need, taxing those benefits, claiming that it's a net revenue increase to Minnesota, when in truth, it's creating a liability that is riddled with fraud. I really hope that people take the time to think about this premeditated game that they're playing. And the people guilty of the misinformation, the people guilty of the deep fakes, the people guilty of the falsified documents and falsified photographs and falsified data reports and falsified surveys is Amy and Tim. They're the tip of the spear of lies. You can't get any more malicious than what Amy and Tim are doing right now on the public airways, and what they're doing in private to attempt to substantiate these lies that they're telling. and attempting to discredit the people who are exposing their lies and bringing the truth to the surface. There is very few people in Minnesota who wish harm to any individual person of any walk of life. Race, color, creed, doesn't matter. I've been on the campaign trail, intensely on the campaign trail since April of this year. I've been on the campaign trail before, and I've witnessed the same thing repeated. The majority of Minnesotans do not believe in the agendas and ideologies that Amy and Tim claim are the majority. We are good and decent people. We are hardworking people. We don't wish ill to anyone. We will go the extra mile. We will do everything in our power to help people in need. But when politicians manufacture needs to implement a profiteering scheme that is exploiting the human condition and exploiting human beings, they're treating us like cattle. We are nothing more than cattle to them. I really hope you read my last two articles, my most recent articles regarding these subjects. By treating us like cattle, like human beings like cattle, and moving us around to increase and demand or implement needs that were artificially created, siphon off dollars of hardworking people of real jobs with real taxes to fuel and fund their manufactured crisis. We're talking about a level of evil, quite frankly, a level of evil that is staggering. And I'm mostly, not only am I trying to expose Tim Waltz and Amy Klobuchar and their colleagues, I'm trying to expose also that group of people among us that are so convinced of this alleged humanitarian effort that and blinded by these emotional narratives. I'm praying for them that they take a deep breath, step back, and do some research of their own. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to the thousands of people like me. Do the research for yourself and arrive at your own conclusions without being told by these politicians and these pay-to-play media personalities that are attempting to amplify this scheme, this criminal enterprise. I'm really praying for that group of people that are so deceived and so blinded that they awake to what is really going on and discern for themselves what has been done to people. So I have no way of knowing how many people this video will reach. I have no way of knowing if Amy Klobuchar and Tim Waltz will see or hear about this. I hope they do. I hope they watch this. My encouragement to them is, I'll give you more grace and mercy than a lot of people will. I really will, despite the media's or some person's accusations about me. I'll give you probably a lot more grace and mercy than a lot of other people will. But at the same time, with that grace and mercy comes a level of accountability, a level of something in return, a request of something in return that is very serious. You need to stop this. You need to get on stage, get in front of a mic, get on your social media, and stop this. You are exploiting people. You are manufacturing crisis, and you are bleeding Minnesota's dry. You are bleeding them dry with their hard work, their care and concern, their humanity and compassion. You have reached a level of exploitation, premeditated exploitation, to funnel and feed dollars to very ill-intended people. Sure, some of them might be unaware and genuinely well-intended, but those unaware compared to those who maliciously intend harm has teeter-tottered into a larger group of malice. This exploitation and manipulation of the public, it just cannot continue. And you're losing the narrative, Tim. You're losing the narrative, Amy. And the proof that you're losing it is very easily demonstrated by how aggressively you're trying to shut people down, shut people up, deny the truth, hide the truth, and demonize people that are telling the truth, including colleagues and legislators that are in office now who are attempting to try and stand up. So if there's any hope whatsoever, I can only speak for myself and the grace and mercy that I'm called to demonstrate for others, but I might be possibly one of the very few that would give you enough grace and mercy to allow you the opportunity to stand on stage and start telling the truth. Stand in front of a mic and tell the truth. Get on your social media and tell the truth. You have created policies and manufactured crisis to perpetuate a criminal scheme that has become evil. It is truly evil. That being said, it's Fabulous Friday. The sun is up. Guess what? The sun rose again. We didn't all, the apocalypse didn't come, Amy and Tim. We're here again. We're going to work. We're good people trying to do the right thing. We're sifting through the lies. And the majority of Minnesotans are starting to see the full truth. The majority of Minnesotans don't believe your narratives anymore. They don't believe your propaganda. And you want to call that a threat to democracy? That's a mental health issue of your own. That's projection. And that mental health issue, it can clearly be documented by your own behaviors and patterns of behaviors over time. So it's Fabulous Friday. I am Phillip Parrish. I'm running for governor. This is a very serious campaign that has caught on across the state. We will be restoring a culture of servant leadership. We will be restoring integrity and transparency and decency. We will be talking about the full truth, not half the truth, and not ways to just exploit people and their emotions, but the full truth. And we will have the hard conversations. The campaign is going very well, and I am humbled and impressed by the number of people that are truly catching on to the reality of what some of our politicians have done to Minnesotans. The last concern I want to leave people with today on this update is really encouraging people to get on the internet and start looking into the Steve Simon attempt to hide a rules hearing, an elections rules hearing. He tried to hide it. They tried to make it as difficult as possible to understand what was coming up. By the grace of God, a lot of good patriots got online and filled out the comment fields for the hearing to demand a public hearing. But now that public hearing has been scheduled for October 10th. But in that process, they've continued to attempt to make it as difficult as possible for people to participate in the public hearing. And by making it a purely virtual public hearing on October 10th, and the rules they're trying to implement with regards to who participates and how to participate and what gets said it's frightening to me how any of them, Tim, Amy, Steve Simon, can stand in front of you and claim there's any connection to a democratic process. There is not. First of all, we're a constitutional republic, and that constitution, that republic, requires following the rule of law. The rule of law is very clear. And those principles of due process, representation, hearing people's voices, when you set up a process and procedure that is so contaminated and so complicated and so purposefully complicated that the good people of Minnesota don't have any clue what's happening or how to participate, that's not democracy. That's not our constitutional republic. So please, Minnesotans, go to your favorite browser of whatever kind, start researching the election rules hearing that's set for October 10th. Start reviewing the rules that Steve Simon wants to codify into the 2026 election, and start understanding why those rules compromise our elections. Demand an input, demand the ability to follow the law and enforce the law about our election process to codify integrity, not exploitation, not election fraud, not compromising our voter rolls. Demand a way and be persistent, be dignified, be a part of the solution. Don't become a part of the problem, but be absolutely persistent and relentless in pursuit of talking about the rules that are going to be implemented or codified on the 10th of October. It is so important to the sovereignty of Minnesota in multiple ways, not just the sovereignty of our state of Minnesota, but the sovereignty of our nation. All those that are participating in and have participated in the compromising of our elections, the compromising of voter rolls, the compromising of the election or the voting process, that is a level of sedition that dips into the realm of treason. You're talking about a small group of people that are knowingly compromising our election integrity. And Steve Simon can give you all the fake data he wants to give you about protecting the voter rolls, and it's a lie. The voter rolls are contaminated with multiple infractions. Everything from maiden name, married name, double registration, multiple homes within the same state registration, multiple residencies and voting in multiple states, a very sophisticated group of people who train college students to register at their colleges and at their homes of residence, and dead people, people with fake social security numbers, and yes, undocumented and illegals on the voter rolls. They can't deny it. It's been proven repeatedly. And Steve Simon can try to make you believe or try to project onto the public that it's no big deal, a couple people here and there. Let's go with his numbers for a moment. In Minnesota, there's 87 counties. Even if there's only 50 to 100 people on the voter rolls that shouldn't be there, you take the election results of the last several elections and you do the math and you calculate out how many fraudulent ballots get through the system, especially in the mail-in process. You will change the results of multiple elections throughout the state over the last several election cycles will be dramatically changed, and the Democrats would have lost more seats. You can call those of us that know this truth, you can call us crazy, you can call us conspiracy theorists, you can demonize us, Steve, you can lie to us, you can lie to the public all you want, but more and more of us know the truth, and more of us have done the math. So you're talking about, even at 50 to 100 inappropriate ballots and inappropriate voter registrations across 87 states, you're talking about thousands of votes that you have exploited. You and Tim and Amy have exploited for profit, for control, for winning an election at any cost because you allegedly believe in your Tim Waltz. We're not done yet. Oh yes, you are done. And it will be done. You will be exposed. Your illegal activities and behaviors are being exposed. It's already over. You just don't have the common sense to start getting on stage and admitting the truth. I pray that you do. I am Phillip Parrish. I'm running for governor. This is a very serious fight, Minnesota. And I'm asking all Minnesotans, those that are supporters, keep up the pressure, keep grinding, keep telling the truth, keep praying, just keep grinding every day, because they are losing control of the narrative. My prayer for those who have been so blinded by the lies, I pray with everything that I am. I pray to the Holy Spirit in the name of Jesus that you discern for yourself what's going on. You don't have to listen to me. Put your anger and ego aside and please do your own research, do the math, and start asking questions. And those like Amy and Tim and Steve who are so convinced of their own superiority and their own allegedly a superior agenda, I pray for your souls, because you have committed harm to the people of Minnesota. You have turned human beings into nothing more than cattle to you, to move money around, reappropriate resources, and manufacture crisis. And it's a very unhealthy and dangerous game. You, Tim, you, Amy, you, Steve, you are the ones that are dangerous. And while you make fools out of yourself, pointing at a couple of memes, a couple of humorous memes by the President of the United States, that his memes are dangerous, while you cloak yourself in disingenuous self-righteousness, you are the dangerous ones, and I pray for your soul. I am Phillip Parrish. I am running for governor in Minnesota. We have a growing base that is catching fire across the state. We will end these lies. We will end the exploitation of human beings. We will end the fear for profit schemes and scams that you are responsible for implementing, Tim, Amy, Steve. I'm Phillip Parrish. I'm running for governor. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Please come to an event. Please get to the website. Share your time, talent, and treasure to help our message get across the state of Minnesota. Bye for now.